Hey guys, it's Sienna and today I'm going to be showing you the basics of Alight motion for beginners. So first of all I'm going to show you how to import a song into your edit, because obviously to edit you need a song. So when you open Alight motion it's going to look like this. I'm doing it on an iPad, so it will look slightly different on a phone, but it's still basically the same thing. So you press this green plus button at the bottom of the screen, and then as you can see you can swap between a project or an element. To make an edit you need to press on project. You can name it by typing here, so I don't know, just name it my name I guess. You just type it in. You can change the shape of it. For an Instagram edit you need square, so you press on 1, 1. You can change the background colour to black, white, light grey or transparent, and then you just, when you're finished making everything how you want it, you just press create project. So as you can see you're led to this screen. So the first part of an edit is obviously the audio. So to import the audio you go on image and video and then you find your audio. I have a folder called edit audios, there we go, and I'll just pick a random audio. I'll pick this one, and you just click on it and then press the plus button, and then see the audio is imported in. Now if you're adding pictures, so for example if I added a picture here, if the picture's a full square obviously it covers it up, but if you wanted to do an edit zoomed out you can just press this I here, and then that makes the audio not visible, so then it just gives you a black background. So to import pictures, it's basically the same thing as importing audio. You just click on your picture and press the plus button, and then you get these 3 buttons at the bottom and you can trim it to where you want. So you'd listen to your audio obviously and trim it where there's a beat. So say if I wanted this to last a second, I'd scroll along to a second, and then you can press this button on the far right to cut off everything to the right. And if you wanted to, you could use the button on the far left to cut off everything to the left, and the middle button just splits it in half. You can also mark in your audio where the beats are. If you just listen to your audio and tap like that, it marks it as red, and then you can cut it where the red is. So you just play your audio and tap the screen when there's a beat. So if I skip further on the audio where there's beats, I'll give you an example.
Go, 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 if you're ready, like I'm ready, 'cause it's a beautiful night, we're looking for...
See, etc, etc. You just tap on this line where the timing is, so where it says 16:08 you tap on there, and if you make a mistake then you can you've got to scroll along so that you're onto the red line, and then you can either tap it again or you can press this little minus button here, and that can basically mark out the beats. So then if you wanted to add pictures in, you would add the picture and you would crop it, or you crop the length there. If you want to make your picture a full screen, you can go on this info, these 3 dots at the top. On a phone I'm pretty sure it's at the top of your screen, and you've got all of these options, so you can fit screen, you can fill screen, or you can stretch the screen. I usually press fill screen because then it just zooms it in enough so that it fills up the screen. Adding videos is basically the same thing as adding pictures and audio. So if you wanted to add a video to your edit, you'd find your video and press the plus button, and then it's imported into your edit. If you want to add text to your edit, you just scroll along to the time you want to add the text, and then press this button with a capital A and a lowercase a that says text underneath it, and then you can type in your text. I'll just type in my name again, and then you can change the size of your text down here. You can change the colour, you can change the alignment if you want to, and you can change the font. I've got a couple of imported fonts down here, but if you've not imported any fonts, if you're using Alight motion for the first time, then it will be on just any random font really. It'll be like, yours will look like this, and it'll be on random fonts. And finally, if you want to watermark your edit so it doesn't get stolen, So, but you don't want to just write your name and it'd be like right across the screen. So again, say if I wrote my name, and like increase the size. I just did that by dragging two of my fingers, by the way, but that's, so I made the size bigger. Obviously that's quite obnoxious in the middle of the screen, it kind of ruins the edit, but I do recommend watermarking your edits in the middle, so then if somebody stole your edit, they can't just crop the watermark off because it's right in the middle of the screen, so then people would know it's stolen. So, to make your watermark less obnoxious, you can go on blending and opacity, which is this button here, and then you can drag this opacity bar down and it makes it less opaque. So you can still see it. Let me change it to white so it's a bit clearer. You can still see it, but it's less obnoxious in the middle of the screen, and you can adjust it as little or as much as you want. So if I decided that wasn't opaque enough, I could do that, and there you go, you can see it perfectly fine. So the second to last thing I'm going to show you how to do is how to add shapes into your edit. So for example, if you wanted to add like, I don't know, like a heart or a star for a transition or something. So you press on the button that's got a circle, triangle, square and heart that says shape underneath it, and then you press whichever shape you want. So for example, if I wanted a star, I'd press on the star, and then obviously it gets put in the middle of the screen. So you can use two fingers to zoom it in, like you would do with anything. You can use one finger to move it around. And then you've obviously got it. You can press on it and go on colour and fill, which is the paint bucket, and you can change the colour of the star as well. So there's a star in my edit now, as you can see. And the final thing that I'm going to show you how to do is how to add a green screen overlay onto your edit. So a lot of people use overlays to make their edits look more finished and better. So you'd go on YouTube to screen record an overlay, and make sure you give credit to the people who you get the overlays from in your edit or whatever you're using the overlays for, and then you go into your photos and find the overlay. So I have this one, which is of some stars and some planets. You scroll the white line along to where you want to add it in, and then you press the plus button like you were importing a picture or an audio. If your overlay, like from the video, has music over it, make sure you press on the volume button and drag it down to 0, otherwise it's going to mess with your audio. And you can obviously crop it down to whatever length you want so that it goes across your clip, and then you can zoom it in either by going fill screen, or you can just use two fingers to zoom it in. I'll press fill screen. So as you can see, you can't see the background picture behind it now, so you have to press on effects, which is this one here, add effect, and then you have to scroll along to matte mask key and press on chroma key. So then, as you can see, you can now kind of see the background photo behind it. You've just got to drag the threshold, so you've basically got to drag your finger to the left and keep going until there's no green outline on your overlay. So as you can see now, there's no green outline on my overlay, and if I play it, it would look like this. It just adds to the edit. Also, if you wanted to move your layers around, so say if I went over here and I wanted the star to be behind my watermark, you just press and hold your finger on these three lines and then drag it down. So now it's underneath my watermark. So there's some of the basics of Alight motion. I hope this video was helpful to people who are beginners. My next video is going to be some basic transitions, but don't worry if you already know how to use Alight motion. I'm going to do some more complex transitions as well. But for now, we're going to do some basic things for people who are just learning how to use Alight motion. I would also just like to say that I am still kind of learning how to use Alight motion. I only started using it in April, but I have learned a lot of things, so I think I'll be able to teach a few things. And when I learn something, I will make a video on it and like teach you how to do it. But for now, I'm going to teach you the things that I learn to help beginners or like people who are just struggling for transition ideas, really. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!